So what actually makes you hungry in the first place and makes people either fat or skinny, besides just metabolism, a little bit more niche than that, we're going to talk about ghrelin. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone that basically gives your body its feeling of hunger. Without ghrelin, you're not hungry, okay? Most skinny people don't produce as much ghrelin. That makes them less hungry. Most fat people produce tons of ghrelin all throughout the day, so they feel like they need a snack all day and they gain weight. The difference between you, the person that clicked on this video because they can't bulk, is your ghrelin and chances are your metabolism and your lifestyle and everything collides together to basically just make you, kind of stay the same weight. There's a few ways that you can get through this. Now, going from a purely just trying to get hypertrophy, trying to get stronger, trying to get bigger, you can change your ghrelin outputs. These ghrelin receptors, they're malleable. If you eat a lot at one time of the day, your body will start to naturally produce more ghrelin at that time of day, bro. So basically, if you start eating more towards the beginning of the day, and you make it a habit to start eating breakfast and stuff, you're gonna start feeling hungry. Whereas whenever you're cutting, like me right now, I'm not really cutting, but I'm trying to optimize more for brain function. So I'm fasting, right? My ghrelin from the start, I was a little bit peckish, man. A little bit peckish. I naturally fast, but I was still a little bit peckish because I got used to eating more food for powerlifting, trying to get bigger, and still being aesthetic and shit. Well, after a while, your ghrelin receptors will actually readjust, and then you won't be hungry anymore. Like me, I ain't hungry until 2 p.m. But if you're trying to bulk, that ain't good, son. So what you need to do is start eating meals more consistently. Kind of tell your body, hey, whenever we wake up at 8 o'clock, it's time to pound down some BS, all right? We need to start eating some shit. Now, there's a trade-off to doing a hardcore bulk and a non-hardcore bulk, okay? Hardcore being basically clean or dirty, okay? If you cannot bulk, chances are you're struggling to put down real food in a sufficient amount to actually gain weight, obviously. Now, after you try this ghrelin receptor nonsense, it's not nonsense, it works. I just said that because I'm goofy science stuff. But after you try the ghrelin manipulation, if you're still not gaining weight, then it might just be purely because of, the type of food you're eating. You might be someone that needs to go on slightly more of a dirty bulk. But you need to understand the trade-offs between that. One, insane brain fog. Two, if you make the wrong choice, you'll just end up getting hella fat. And that's it, basically. Okay, you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna look like shit if you eat the wrong thing. Like, it's okay, it's kind of, if you have a crazy metabolism, let's say that you need to eat 3,500 calories to gain weight, then it might be okay to substitute 500 of those calories and just bullshit, okay? To put it quite plainly, sorry. you can kind of substitute those calories with whatever. But with sweets and overall junk food in a stereotypical dirty bulk, it's very, very easy to accidentally misconstrue that and put way too much junk food in your diet and use it as an excuse to just fuck up your entire mental and physical health. So what I would recommend is to start off with ghrelin manipulation, obviously. After that, maybe increment in a little bit more junk food. If you've already hit all your protein, which is 0.81 grams per pound of body weight, that's the most scientifically proven one. Or you could just say 0.8 if you're not retarded like me. I'm retarded, so I just calculate my body weight and everything. But if you're already hitting your protein and stuff in a sufficient amount, then it might be okay to add in some sugar. Be careful with that. Don't do that. They have a lot of natural food that is very high calorie. Like you can, potatoes are very calorie dense, but they're also kind of filling. So I mean, each has its own place in your life. Okay, just moderation, bro, because you don't want to feel like shit. Now, there's one more thing I'd like to get to. A few more things, really, but you need to choose one or the other. If you cannot bulk, and you're not abhorrently skinny, okay, then it might be okay to go on a cut for a while. If you've been bulking for months and you put on maybe 20 pounds or so, maybe 10, 20 pounds, then it might be okay to go on a cut. Whatever you can possibly maintain in the long term, because variation is going to kill your gains, okay? You can't just pinball machine from one to the other to one to the other, one to the other. Whatever's going to keep you the most consistent. And if you're at a stage in your life where you just want to be lean as hell, basically, then just cut and stick to that. You're gonna be strong, bulk, and stick to that. If you want to be an aesthetic power lifter, lean bulk. You can lean bulk year round, okay? You can still do cutting and bulking cycles if you please, but what I've personally done for the past 3 years is a lean bulk. I have eaten a sufficient amount of protein, along with a sufficient amount of calories, so my body isn't like literally starving itself and like fully just cutting and stuff. But it still has enough resources to actually build muscle, just very progressively. You're not gonna really put on any excess body fat and stuff. It's just overall a better way of bulking or cutting. It's just a better method. I have one more tip that can help you, stay if you're struggling with bulking and stuff. Okay, there's one more tip. It would be lifestyle changes. Just like whenever I was talking about Grelin a second ago, consistently eat food at the same times. Change your environment. If you're trying to gain weight, change your environment, You might want to oh my gosh, my hair is not working with me today. I look like an absolute douchebag. Okay, well I always look like a douchebag. Look at my medals in the back, kids. Anyways, but lifestyle changes might actually help you, especially if you're cutting. But this video is about bulking, so I'm going to talk about bulking. You need to have some food around, carry some snacks around you. Don't get crazy. Now, if you're still in the school system or something, or you have a job like most people on this earth, okay, you could package along with you some peanuts or something. Peanuts are pretty healthy. They have brain healthy fats in them, good protein, and they're very fucking calorie dense. So I'd recommend it. If you like some peanuts, man, like some cashews or something, slap them in the bag, man. They're good. Bring them around with you. Just like if you're trying to become a more hydrated human being, you bring in the water around with you everywhere like I do. Where's my, hold up. Wait. This is the fucking Jotto, boys. This is the Jotto. Hey, I would sell this to you if I could, but my grandma made it. Thank you, Grandma. This is a good present. My handle broke and she got a pair of jeans and made that. Very, very good. Still using it. Cracked the thing. The washer's broke. It's a messed up bottle cap, so I'm just still using it for some reason. Lifestyle changes. Back to where I was at. You need to start packing around food with you. Because the way that my brain works, personally, I will naturally intermittent fast till 1 or 2 p.m. Okay, if I don't have food with me, I'm not gonna eat it. And if I'm not ravenously hungry, I'm not gonna go look for food really. It's not a thing. My ghrelin receptors are very well modulated, but for a lot of people that are a bit bigger, they're not. So you need to make it a habit to deny yourself the gluttony, and also if you're fat, change your environments and stuff. But bulking, do the exact opposite of what the fat people would want to do. And if it came down to it, this is a last resort thing. Genuinely last resort. I've never had to do this. And this is after you've exhausted all of your freaking options and you've been trying to bulk for months. Do not use this unless if you've done everything you can. Because if you haven't done everything you can, doing this method will just end up making you fat. If the truth was that you lack discipline and you do this method, you will just end up gaining an obscene amount of weight and it will not be good. Liquid calories. I'm sure you might have seen that coming. Liquid calories. Soda. Maybe use some more oil. Extra virgin olive oil. Very good for you. Very brain healthy. Great. Hell of expensive. They have other oils, but they're not healthy for you at all. You can layer that shit on there and it is hundreds of calories and barely anything. That's actually what ruins salads. Dressings. So if you're a skinny fuck that likes salads, put some ranch on that bitch and put all the goofy stuff that the fat people put on there to make themselves feel good. Okay, that's what you need. If that's what you need to do, go do it, homie. I ain't gonna judge. All right, but liquid calories, they're a tool. They're not. I was about to say a very valuable tool in your bulking arsenal, but it's the worst thing you can do for your body. Just basically the entirety of bulking. It is a very lifting oriented practice. I recommend a lean bulk and you try and get all your calories and stuff in after 1 or 2 p.m. If you can manage to do that, as I have, I think that's a better version because your brain will work better, you'll be happier, you're going to be more regulated, and you're not going to be as tired throughout the day. But I've yapped for long enough, bro. I'll see you later.